So we have some horses that we are going to post up for sale on Monday, and I thought long and hard. The list I have is 12 or 13 horses that I'm watching carefully, you know, and this isn't easy. Some of them are easy, some of them are simple. You guys will understand them, but some of them aren't. And I mistakenly sent an entire note to all of you today that was meant for the Century Invictus group, you know, explaining that this was a tough one. I could literally see this horse coming forward. Literally. I could see him going somewhere and doing good. I've talked to our affiliate trainers and like, no, Anthony, you know, I think he's in trouble if he comes here. He's got 60, 70,000 made. He's got 6 wins. You know, I talked to Scott Zeron after he got hurt yesterday because I had talked to Scott about taking this horse a couple of times with Megan. And I said, hey, he goes, Anthony, listen, from what I can see, he's going to have pace 52 in Yonkers. I'm like, oh, Jesus, I didn't know that. And he goes, yeah, that's the deepest part. You know, when you get into that, anywhere from 6 to 10 wins, they got to dance. And he said, you know, Yonkers will go for so much money, they're good there. He said, you know, maybe Beckwith. And I called Mark, and I talked to Mark, and Mark's like, nah, I could see him doing good, but it's not a slam dunk. Look at this guy. Oh, my. He said it's not a slam dunk by any means, which really threw me off because I thought that we'd be able to send this horse somewhere, do some good for a little while, and, you know, around in between Lexington and Harrisburg, move the horse along. You know, he's a small horse. He'd fit really, really good at a small, like Yonkers. I'm thinking Yonkers the whole time. And I was so surprised when Scotty had said that. So I guess what I'm left with is now what? Because I don't want to send him somewhere just to send him somewhere. That's my biggest pet peeve, is just saying, yeah, we're sending the horse to Mark Beckwith or Megan Schramm, or we're sending the horse anywhere. Anybody that takes our horses, anywhere, just to send them, I have no interest in it. But I could see Century Invictus being a good horse somewhere. And I'm going to look into it more. And listen, at the end of the day, I don't think there's any rush or need to give Century Invictus away. We still would have to be paid well for the horse because he's a sound horse that can pace a half, 54, 55 right now. So there has to be a spot for him somewhere. But if I can't tell you where that is, where we can be effective, as soon as we land, put the horse in to go and go on the track at 2, 3, 4 to 1, something like that. If I can't find that place, then we need to. Why is there so much traffic there? Then we need to take a look at. We need to take a look at what our options are. Now, obviously, selling the horse is one of them. Especially now, we are going to have 7 or 8 horses up for sale on Monday. I'm going to go through them with you here. But the first one on my list was Century Invictus. Now, my first one on the list could have been Brave World. But Brave World was scratched the other day. I'm not going to try and sell a horse off a scratch sick. You know, it raises a lot of eyebrows and it inevitably costs you money. It's a no-brainer. You can't do that. We'll bring him back next week, race him in the non-wars at 3,500, race him in the preferred 3. And by then, if he's forced into the preferred 2, at that point we can put a horse like Brave World up for sale. But there's no super rush to do it. I'm left looking at the entire season saying, okay, when are these horses worth the most? When should we sell them? Should we sell them, I guess, is first. When should we sell them? And you're never, ever positive. But as you start to get closer to the yearling sales, then all the big stables start dumping. We're a big stable. But all I'm talking Burke and Tactor and Per Engblom, all those bigger stables will start dumping horses onto the market, trying to drum up yearling capital. Nobody's got a blank check out there. Nobody just walks into the sale. I mean, I should say some people could, I suppose. But it's very difficult for a trainer just to walk into a sale with a blank check and say, okay, I'm just going to buy this, this, this. You know, we have a lot of clients and we're going to buy a lot of horses, but I have to be responsible also. So what horses are going to be fall, winter horses for us? What horses are probably going to be used by our clients to drum up yearling capital also? What horses are ours are going to go on the open market? So a long opening, a long 4.5-minute opening, just so everybody understands. Century Invictus is the first one, so, simply because I'm taking direction from people I trust, right? People that I thought the horse would do well at a Yonkers. And then I was told, no, you may want to sell them. Anyway, I think it would have to be well north of 35,000, 40,000 for us to let Century Invictus go. I think he's probably worth 40. I would say we'd have to put a hard cap 38-42 on Century Invictus, knowing that he can race in the grassroots and the smaller tracks and do okay. He's not a grassroots horse at Mohawk. He just isn't. But he could be a grassroots horse at Flamborough. I know there's one there. He could be competitive. And at that point, maybe there will be a class open up. You have Dover starting. You know, we do have Mark at Saratoga, or you know, Scotty's going to be off a month, but he'll be back. And him and Megan will continue to have horses for us, and maybe he will fit at Yonkers then. I don't know, but Century Invictus is the first horse on the official list for today. Second is Columbus. We're going to put all three of the Ohio trotting colts that are not named What a Mission on the preferred sale. They're just not cutting it. You know, they're not cutting it. They're not. I'm hopeful, but as I say, and I continue to say it, I'll say it again and again and again, we are not running this stable on hope. You know, we tried it for a few years, it didn't work, and the inevitable took over. All we did was end up with a bunch of bad horses at the end of it. I believe that Columbus should be a better horse, but he's not right now. I believe Magical Tom should be a better horse. He's not right now. I believe Hill Street Blues is an okay horse. All three of these horses will serve their purpose to somebody, but it's not to the stable. And for the people out there saying, you didn't give them enough of a chance, you're wrong. I gave them more than enough chances to prove what they could be, what they might be. You know, you have a super powerful horse or a strong horse that's just making breaks. Okay, fine. All right, we'll work with that horse. You saw that with Carter Michael Dio. Right? We'll work with the horses. But when you're just okay and you long to be mediocre, it's not helpful for us. So Columbus is going in the sale for Monday. Father Dunn, we raced him today. I was hopeful. I mean, the thing about Father Dunn, nobody's going to lose on Father Dunn. I mean, we bought him for $10,700. To be fair and quite frank, to the Amish, he's probably worth $14,000 or $15,000. He is a big, big, big boy. Nice horse, too. But he trotted good today. But if we don't have a class for him, where can I race him? I would even put him in a 12-claimer. They don't exist right now. Because if you have a big, good-looking 12-claimer, the Amish are going to buy him off you or claim him. They can't fill a 12 at the Meadows right now. Northfield, not a smaller track, not really his cup of tea. I'm not going to lug him all over down to Scioto to see if he can do there or send him back to Plainridge. I'm happy with how he's trotting. He's just not fast enough. So Father Dunn will also, now unless Tim was going to ask a couple of people if they wanted to buy him. So either one way or another, Father Dunn's raced his only pari-mutuel start for the stable.ca. Listen, guys, we have to be able to buy horses and it doesn't work out. We have to be able to move in an aggressive manner to say, okay, that didn't work. Let's move on. That did work. Okay, let's explore that avenue, this avenue. We have to be able to move in a very fluid manner. And there's just, with no classes to race Father Dunn in, it's frustrating. I thought we'd buy him. He'd do okay for us. And if we had to put him in a claimer, we would. He didn't do okay for us right now. In fact, he was in the $5,500 cheapest class today. And I gave him every opportunity. I moved him first over. The horse on the front won the race. He wasn't super confident about the turns, and quite frankly, he's not fast enough for us to wait for me to be absolutely certain that he'll be fine through the turns. As I said, if they had a claimer, we'd be fine. They don't. So Father Dunn's probably going to be moving on. Next is Hill Street Blues. You're going to see, as I said, Magical Tom and Hill Street Blues are on this list. I'm sorry, but at the end of the day, I'm your partners on these horses too, and I have to look at the horses and say, okay, can you show me a way forward in the near future where these horses could get better? And how would you do that? We've done what we can to put them in a place to do well right now, and they haven't. Magical Tom was second in a fair. What did he do in his last start?
I thought he had second and third.
Second and third, yeah, that's what I thought. He was third. But I mean, not doing enough. We're just going to bounce around, be third, fourth in the grassroots, the Buckeye. Hope that he does okay in the fairs, and then what? I mean, we need to be able to say, okay, we've exhausted our avenues with this horse. He's okay to mediocre. We're gonna move on without him. And I think that's exactly the position we're at. You're welcome to make arguments for the horses, but I've had conversations with many of the stakeholders, many of your partners, my partners on these horses. Just trying to see, because it's not, well, this is how it is. Maybe I'm missing something too. Maybe I'm not Once in a while, I have somebody that'll just send me an email with information in it. It makes complete sense. Something that I missed. But when it comes to these 3 Colts, I don't think there's anything I missed there. I am concerned about the Century Invictus issue, but I'm not concerned about Columbus, Magical Tom, and Hill Street Blues. It just didn't work out. And as far as the fillies, you know, a full heart, horses like that, they got to come forward, but their stake races are on August the 9th. These guys are on July 31st, which is one day before the sale. So the timing is there for us to do the right thing, in my opinion. So Hill Street Blues is moving on also. Look at that cat. Mark had asked me just to put him on the preferred sale platform. You know, this is a bad luck horse. There's a faster horse than Father Dunn in the exact same situation. Had to race him against Red Overbach the other night, who was 4th. So if Red Overbach is 4th in a class, a horse that we paid $57,000 for, who I'm happy with, and we have to race Look at That Cat against him, that's not fair to Look at That Cat. There's no 15 claimer. I put him in the 18 claimer in Georgian, even though I didn't know if he'd get around Georgian well. Put him in the 18 claimer Georgian, didn't fill. Was even going to enter him in the Classic Grand River, didn't fill. So now we're left again. The landscape of harness racing is continually changing, because it isn't as easy as, hey, buy a horse and we'll race it anymore. We have to buy a horse that fits a class, make sure that class is going weekly, consistently, and find a horse that can do well in that class, or a class, if you didn't do well in that class, to make sure there's exit strategies, as I like to call them. There's other plans, but it's tough to do when the other plans aren't filling. So Look at That Cat is also going on there. If you're out there watching this video, you want a nice horse? Look at That Cat. Trotted him 56 twice for us. I don't know what went on with the break on Sylvain 2 weeks ago, or the break on JD last night. The horse was great. When James drove him and I qualified him, I thought the horse was great. Yeah, he runs in a little bit. Probably not built for a half-mile track. He might learn to go over it at some point, but much more comfortable with a 5/8 and a 7/8 than a half. So Look at That Cat is going to be on the list also. Magical Tom is same reason that Hill Street Blues is on it. Same reason that Columbus is on it. I don't have to beat this drum. You guys know. He's just not doing enough. And again, those of you saying, well, you know, you need to give him a few more starts. No, I don't. At all. I know exactly where he is right now, and I just do not see him getting better than he is right now. Unfortunately, you know, as we talk about, and Ron Burke was the one that put it perfectly. He said, when they go behind the gate, hey, when they go behind the gate, they are what they are. Adeline? No, don't start that again. When they go behind the gate, they are what they are, and they can't lie to the gate. Hey, stop.
Stop and get something.
Next, so Magical Tom, 1-2 skip a few. I think goes out saying we dropped her in a claimer last week. Her claiming price is $25,500. I had a couple of people call me and ask me to buy her, and I'm not giving her away. She's worth $22,000 to $25,000, and that's what she's worth. I'm not giving her away. She fits in that class for 3 or 4 weeks. I'm not giving her away today. I'm not giving her away Monday. I'm not giving her away. So if you're out there saying, oh, I'm going to bid on that filly, you can be sure you're not getting her for less than $22,000. Probably take $23,000. And that is what 1-2 skip a few is worth. I mean, she has a class. She's 9 to 5 tonight. She's probably going to do well. She fits this class. Then if she just tightens her skirt up a little bit, she can go right up into the class that Blue Tesla was in. No problem whatsoever. She fits in there forever. We have classes and a path for her moving forward. I'm not worried about 1-2 skip a few, but at the same token, she is a claimant. I know there's some people that maybe don't think she is. That's fine. The good news is for them, they can buy her on Monday. I'm giving you my opinion, which may be right, or may be wrong from time to time. But my opinion is now is probably the time to move 1-2 skip a few. And then last but not least is World Bank. World Bank did good for us the other night. Problem with World Bank is they opened that class for us tonight, and I hope he wins. But not a lot of class. Again, this landscape is fluid. It's so hard to traverse the wall that is horse racing. You know, it's really hard. World Bank's a decent horse. An okay horse. You know, he jogged last week. He probably will win tonight. But after that, class didn't fill at Grand River. Other class didn't fill at Georgian. He's not good enough to race in a preferred 3. He just isn't. And he shouldn't have to. I don't really want to bring him over to, you know, the Meadows or Northfield Park to see if he can do where he can. He can do in the class he's in tonight. Unfortunately, he doesn't fit that class anymore. Even if he runs tonight, finishes last, he doesn't fit that class anymore. So I have to be careful also when we move forward. You know, I bought Father Dunn saying the 12 claimer is always our way out for a horse that we paid $10,700 for. That's always our way out, unless the 12 claimer doesn't fill. So that's a frustrating part right now. That is the lowdown on the horses we're selling. Of that entire list, the only uncertainty for me comes with Century Invictus. I don't know if I'm real comfortable with it. More times than not, when we talk about selling horses, it's time for them to go. Century Invictus, it's tough for him to stay. When the Classy fits at Grand River, he goes out on the track at 10-1. You know, I think he's like 8-1 morning line in the grassroots in Sarnia. I look quickly at the list. One of the horses in that race with him went in 51-1 his last start. So that's what we're up against here. Well, I'm not here, but in Ontario, that's what we're up against with Century Invictus. And I was surprised when Scotty and Mark and everybody said, nice. There's no slam dunks here. This guy's going to have to work when he gets here, and there's not going to be any layups. Well, I thought there would be. Anyway, the list is what it is. I think it's fair. I think it documents everybody in a different way, why they're entering that sale. And I don't think anybody should be surprised or shocked. Maybe the Invictus, but for the other horses, they've earned their way onto this list. We're going to continue to move forward as we have over the last year. We're going to continue to move horses around. We're going to sell some. We're going to buy some. How the Hell is now in Ontario. He's in Harry Polton's barn. The other horse, what's his name? Home the Tone is over here in Ohio with me. Got him checked out by the vet today. Everything looks good. Got to put some weight on him. Got to get that GGT down. And if I'm not super comfortable with what I see in his blood or otherwise over the next couple of weeks, it might turn into 4 or 5 weeks. But Home the Tone has a place in Ontario throughout the winter, as we have for Sailor, White Tiger. We're going to have a very strong lineup again for this winter. And I want to make sure that we're set up and ready to do it, ready to execute the way we want to. So we head into the sale season. I want to make sure that when sale season's over, we start breaking the horses, and horses are on the track racing. I want to make sure we have the right horses for that. So with that, I'll let you guys go. Obviously, as I said, the only horse we've raced so far today is Father Dunn. Wasn't super disappointed. I guess I wasn't shocked. If you're going to make a $10,000 private purchase race against conditioned horses that go in 55, then that's what's going to happen. Hi, baby. So we're on our way to North.
She's saying hi, everybody.
I know. Actually, she's yelling, correct. She has her earphones on. So with that, we're on our way to Northfield Park. Got Blue Tesla in tonight. We got 1, 2, Skip a Few in tonight. Who's the third one? 1, 2, Skip a Few, Blue Tesla. Coupe de Ville in tonight. So with that, I'll let you guys go. I hope you're having a good middle of the week. A lot going on this week, Thursday, Friday. I'm very apprehensive, very uneasy about Friday. Rosita's Dream in Illinois. Good luck to Marcus Miller. And then we have, I was wrong, Yannick Gingras not driving, Carter Michael Dio. We're stuck with the leading driver in the world driving him and the leading trainer in the world training him. So I can't do much more than I've done at this point. We've got Carter around. He looked great. He's joined the top team, driven by a top driver. So I'm still a little, as I said, a little apprehensive. I'll worry about Anthony in Pennsylvania on Friday. We've got a big Friday coming up, a decent Saturday. Lots going on. Good luck to everybody. I hope you're having a great day.